Good afternoon and welcome to Is It Really Worth It podcast with Sean Byrne. Let me just give a big shout out to our sponsors, Tripod Crest Limited, for all your planing, tarmacking and civil engineering work. They're the go-to crew. Thank you very much, Tripod, for taking your time out to sponsor us here at Is It Really Worth It. This afternoon we've got a fascinating human being on, Ryan the Barbarian Barby. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm all good, Sean. Appreciate you having me on, sort of thing. I hope we have a good podcast and it's really positive and send out a good message to anyone that's listening.
It will. Right, you are a close protection operative, worked with some of the biggest celebrities on the planet. Not just celebrities, presidents. But we're going to take it back from the present to the beginning. So, where were you born?
I was born in Ketchum General Hospital, which is obviously down the road from my hometown, which I grew up, which is Corby in Northamptonshire, which you know well. Sure, yeah. You love Corby,
yeah,
as well as I do as well. But yeah, that's where I grew up. So I spent like all my youth there. Like,
good. Listen. Corby's a tough place, very tough place, and it can be a very dark. It can get naughty in Corby. Great people stand up for what they believe in, and they're not afraid to say what they feel. So, how was life growing up in that environment? You know, because there's a lot of opportunities in Corby to go the wrong path rather than the right path. So how was your younger days, right?
Yeah, when I was younger, like I enjoyed school and stuff. I was always trying to play sports and stuff. I got into and I was an outdoor kid, Sean. I always like being out on the streets, playing around, like football, all sports, climbing trees, and that was just sort of like natural to me, really. I never really played too much computer games or anything like that. Like a lot of kids didn't back then. And then in that area as well, Corby had quite a lot of Scottish heritage back then, from the steelworks.
Yeah.
So I had quite a lot of Scottish friends, which I enjoyed. I always got on really well with the Scots for some reason. Like, I thought they were just like straight up people, and always got on really like well with them. So my childhood in Corby was brilliant. To be fair, I can't like really complain. It was really good. I enjoyed all my sports sort of thing, and so I got down to the local boxing gyms in Corby as like quite a young age sort of thing. I got into that was sort of like my thing. Like what I really enjoyed.
Yeah. So, Corby is a mainly Scotch occupied town, isn't it? Like you say, from the steelworks, there was a massive influx of Scotchmen who were great working men. Hence, they came down for the work. So, you got into boxing at a very young age. What was your first boxing club? You remember it?
I just went to one Saxby up the Lingersay at Corby Olympic Amateur Box Club.
Yeah, John McKenzie.
He was like, I was quite. It was really good vibes, but there's different atmosphere. The council put quite a bit of money into it, and then when I first went there, like it was like free to train, like it was all like funded. But even then, as the years went on and stuff, it was never really. It was always like quite like a local man's like sort of like working class sport. So it was never hard for my parents to like fund it. I used to just jump on my BMX and I used to like bike down there for mine and just go like train. But it was never as much as a kid. Didn't really cost anything. So back then, like that was really good for the community and like other kids as well. Like it was like a really good place to be. And then like there was no bullying. It was all like sort of like good like moral codes and stuff. Like it sort of seems to be gone like these days.
Well, boxing breeds that kind of respectful attitude. There's no peer pressure in boxing. Everyone's on the same path, really, when you join a boxing gym. But it can be initially very intimidating because of the nature of the sport. So you enrolled in a boxing club very young. You obviously made some great powers from that club, probably to this day. what, you just touched down upon there. You were an outdoor kid. You didn't really get involved in computers. What year were you born, Ryan?
I was 88.
88. So you were growing up in the era of the burst of computers. Yeah, early 90s, there was what was it, Sony?
Things like
PlayStations and Sega Mega Drives.
Yeah, like, it was quite popular at school sort of thing, but I was never really, like, sort of, I got, like, too interested. I got, like, boxing, which is brilliant. So boxing, like, I was never the best boxer, but I loved it, and it always got me in a discipline, and but another good thing as well, give me about comments, but it got my fitness at a really high level, because I was always known for, like, my cardio. I was always fitter than I was skillful. So because my fitness was always at a good level, because I used to, like, I was quite disciplined to train a lot. Like, it helped me, like, when I finally got a chance to go into the military after leaving school at 16. So I had the fitness was I had a lot to thank for the boxing, because it does, like, as you know, like, gets you, like, super fit. Like, there's nothing better than boxing to get you, like, super fit. It's like a proper disciplined, like, cardio role, isn't it?
It's the best. Ali said it a long time ago, the will must be greater than the skill. So some fighters, they're a lot less skilled than their opponent, but because their will is far greater, they beat that much more skillful fighter. So take nothing away from yourself saying you weren't the most talented. Your will can get so many more results than just skill. Do you know what I mean? So you've enrolled in a boxing club. You're coming into your what age did you start boxing? 10?
Yeah. Well, I actually started doing a bit of karate, to be fair. My dad took me when I was like 5, and I did all that. But my first, I think I was about 12 when I first went to Saxby. About that sort of age. Yeah. Like, and then it's been like the teenage years doing it, like boxing up until 16. Obviously, that's when I enlisted and went away. Yeah, they were like brilliant times as a kid and stuff. Yeah, as a teenage, because that's when you get, like, straight away when you're a teenager. That's when, like, a lot of people in Corby going to house parties and whatnot. That's like sort in, like, drinking down the woods and that sort of a culture, and chasing girls when you first hit, like, sort of 13, 14. But I sort of avoided all that just by doing the boxing gym. So that's what I got to thank it a lot, sort of thing. The boxing,
discipline.
Yeah,
discipline.
Just discipline and the fitness. They're the two main things. Like, I've tried to carry on for the rest of my life, really. Them two things: try and stay disciplined, always try and stay fit.
Yeah. Two great qualities in anybody's life: discipline, fitness, health. It breeds health. So you're in an amateur boxing club in your early teens. You joined the army very young. What point in your teens did you choose to go into the military? I see you're wearing an airborne tie. Great force. When in your teens did you decide that, because there must have been a crossroads where you came to, you could have went for a normal job. You could have went down the pub like a lot of your pals. You could have started to be a potential pisshead or whatever. At what age did you decide, I'm going to go into the forces? Because it's a disciplined life.
Yeah. I was 15 and 7 months. That's when you could put your name down, and then obviously you wait till you leave school, and at 16 you join. But I remember sort of like being at school, I can't remember what teachers I was talking to, but when I went to the careers office, which was in Northampton, that's Market Square, I don't think it's there anymore.
Yeah,
and then when they explain it to us, so, like, you get to train, you with, like, try to get an airborne, like, you with, like, loads of, like, blokes in the same path. Like, it's really, I was going to go, like, to the regular unit originally, but when they sort of said that they're, like, really big on the boxing, like, when I was in, like, the phase 1 training, I got, like, sort of, like, pushed to it, and then I just thought,
why am I being biased? But why does boxing always tip the scales for us?
So I thought, we get, like, sort of, like, get paid to train, sort of thing. It's like a dream job for a kid. So I got up to that point, I was like paying to train, and then someone's going to offer you, like, give me money, like, to go and train multiple times a day, like, in the boxing team or whatever. So you think, that's just like a dream come true. But I always wanted to go in the military, sure, like, and I was watching all the old war films and stuff, and, like, something, like, maybe we're not wired up properly. I don't know, but I just thought, like, I have to do this. I was just something inside me. No one in my family's military, like, and no one told me to do it. None of my friends were interested, but for some strange reason, I don't know if it was in my DNA or whatever, I was like, I have to get about this. I was set on it. Like, once I, like, knew that's what I was doing. Like there was nothing stopping me. I had to go in the military, and then when I finally did it, I just like give it my all, like every day. Like I absolutely loved soldiering. To be fair, I got really hooked on it. Like I always wanted to try and be the best soldier I could be. It was like sort of like do when you're training and certain things. I got really like sucked into a soldier. I thought I'm just gonna try and be the best I can at it, and ended up really good. Give me a great life. Got to travel the world. Got to see and do a lot of things. Got like friends for life, and another thing, like you said, going back to like discipline. When I was on that path, and when you're training to go on tour, whatever, like it's like serious as well. I mean, like when we were going to the gym, when we were doing our drills, we know potentially the man to the left and right of us are going to get seriously hurt on the battlefield. So incentive to like fight or to train, there's like through the roof really. So yeah, I always had that discipline and like to push like myself to the limits really. So when it got offered it was just a no-brainer really. Like get to do sports, travel the world. Like I was single then as well, young, like no kids, like off you go. You know what I mean? Because if I never did it, like I probably would never have done it. Like as well, like potentially, like, even though I wanted to do it, but you never know what life brings, do you?
Well, if you never did it or never chose to do it, your options would have been pushed to a different direction, and you could have quite easily, you know, got involved in crime, gang culture, whatever. You know, this is how society is now. But so you like challenges, Ryan. You know, it's obvious. You know, you like to challenge, not just be involved in the challenge, but challenge yourself, because to make that decision to go into the armed forces, it's a big decision. You know, it's your life. It's, you know, you could be deployed somewhere where there is fucking chaos going on. You don't know what direction the shit's coming at you from. You don't know if it's coming from above, from below, from left or right. You know, that's a massive challenge. And commendable, so commendable. So you've decided at a young age to join the forces. You've joined the forces at 16?
Yeah, 16.
Wow. So you're still like a young man, really. You don't... did you know what you know? You obviously knew what you was going into, but did you know how serious it could get?
Yeah, to be fair, like the UK's got a rule: you can't deploy on tour until you're 18. So I had that window. I had to wait till 18 till obviously I got my shot to go abroad and see combat. But that was Afghanistan was hot at that time, and then when we hit, like, I got my.
So what year did you join? It must have been 2005. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just before the year. 2005. I went to Harrogate, which is like sort of the junior intake. It's near Leeds. Yeah. Like, now you do a year there. It's 52 weeks, where and then you go on to your specialist training. There we do your P company, and you just get like battered and stuff. See if you pass it, and then you go on your jumps course. That was really good, to be fair. Go down Bryce Norton and like do
this is the airborne unit.
Yeah, so I did my jumps course, did my parachute and everything. Once I like passed the P company, all the fitness tests and stuff. That was brutal. That was Sean. That was like the hardest bit, just getting hammered like constantly. And then a small percentage of people pass that, and then you go into your jumps course, and then we got ready to like deploy out to Afghanistan. But I was lucky because we did a couple of overseas exercises in Kenya, because you had to like practice packing your kit in a different way, because we train in like Wales, Scotland, Carrick, like these sort of places in the UK. But it's always raining all the time, Sean, you see. So when you're doing your mat reading, when you're packing your kit, you're constantly in the cold weather, like you're drilling, doing all your drills basically, like for weeks on end in cold, wet, British typical weather. Yeah. But we're getting ready to go Afghanistan,
which is a little bit hotter. Yeah.
So we did some of our training out in Kenya, because the local forces let us go over there and train. So we're practicing all our drills in like really hot conditions. So we're packing our kit like job specific for what we're going into, sort of thing.
Yeah. So you're acclimatising to what you're going to be in.
Used to like doing the drills in hot weather rather than the cold weather. So that was really interesting. I enjoyed that, getting out and about, like going to Africa and seeing the world. Like it gave me great opportunities. The military did, like really did.
And rubber stamps discipline in your life.
Yeah, you ain't got time to get like straight away when you're on these. Cause when we was going out there, we went out there in Kenya for like 8 weeks, and it's like every day like drilling. So obviously when you go to when we went to Afghanistan, it was like that was like 6 months. Yeah. So you're constantly on it. So you ain't really got the opportunity to stray and other sort of things in life. You constantly got your mind on the job.
Yeah. So you've joined. You're very young. You've gone through your training. Where was the first deployment?
For overseas, southern Afghanistan, Helmand province. We got put right into the FOB increment, to be fair. Because I remember the battle group, when they got put into like the different areas sort of thing, like we actually, people like said our FOB increment is the most lively one sort of thing. And then when our detachment got put there, so we got put straight in there. So I was like, oh, right, we're going to FOB increment then.
You're going into the inferno.
Yeah. I think like it didn't take long for it like to kick off. I think when we got to increment, it's only the second day. Me and Soldier W, I'll call him, one of the lads, like we were like building like shower we could do, and then an SPG 9 round like came over, fucking like nearly like hit us like nearly, so I nearly got blew up on the second day, Sean. So we went straight into it. But it was really active time then, because I think it was like about 2006 or 2009. Well, back in then, that's when a lot of the books are about, and it really hit. I think the government, like US and UK, like, really underestimated the Taliban at that period. I think it got caught out. It was got really heated. Like I think it was like kicking off like quite a lot. You know what I mean? Like especially in that summer, like so it's like a daily occurrence sometimes. Like.
So what was it like in the camps over there? You know, because CrossFit came in around them times. Did it? Yeah. You know, I think it originated over in, you know, like the training methods.
When it was in that FOBs, so what happens is, like, for less of people understand, you get like your camp bastions. So that's sort of the headquarters. So that's like secure. That's like where all the British like troops will be. And then once you're in there, we like go into your Chinooks, like two propeller helicopters. And you go out to the forward operational base, which is like a FOB, and then you go like certain ones. And that's where you go closer to the enemy. So ours was like the FOB increment. So once we're in there, we're in the middle of the desert, and then we could like make do with what we can. So we like made certain things. We didn't really have much equipment. We made our own gym, like just to start off with like rocks. And then when people go back and forward, every time you go back for like a resupply, someone will bring a pair of gloves, the next one will put pants, and then everyone sort of like grabs like a certain or something. One person will grab one dumbbell, one might get like a bench, and then as the time goes on, we try to just build our own little like gym sort of thing. But we all got in really good shape on it, because like when you talk about discipline, there's no like Pizza Huts or Domino's like there. It was literally
real food.
Yeah, we just eat one rations. We're drinking water only, like loads of water because it's hot. And then we're training all the time, and even like doing a job. So all of us like got in like quite good shape. By the time we got back. A lot of money in the bank. Yeah, which was a nightmare, because we all these lads.
And you see that money in your bank is yours.
Yeah,
but police can't come and take it because it's not come from crime.
Yeah, exactly.
It's yours, Ryan.
But with the young lads, because a lot of us were so young, and like quite all the airborne lads are like wild. Like it was like rescuers. That's when they got back. It was just Magaluf, Cybeacres, like everyone. They just went absolutely crazy. A lot of the blokes just like we should have a couple of like the older boys, like maybe like tone this down a bit and put it into certain like assets, but literally when you're that age, like all them blokes come back with like X amount of money, because we didn't spend a penny when it was out there. And
I suppose you've seen a lot of shit things.
Yeah, like I had the best. It's hard for me to like really explain it on this podcast, because I had the best time of life. Like it was like amazing. I don't know if like I'm a bit of a strange guy or why not different, but sure, I love the action or whatever. But and the blokes I was with, was all the camaraderie and everything. But like in our battle group, if someone got like seriously injured, which a few like people did, and obviously like killed in action within the area, I think like did like condolences to the family sort of things. It's hard for it to say like how much a good time, because obviously if certain things happened to them, it was obviously like wasn't a good time. So I don't like mean that, but for when we're doing it, like it was just the only way to really describe it. Like you know yourself, like fight. You know, when you win a fight, it was like that, but times 1,000. I mean, it was just like the buzz was just like incredible. So when you get back to the UK and try normal life, that's why all the lads struggle, Sean.
Yeah,
because
civvy life.
It's like, how can you replace it? I mean, from like, it was.
That's right.
That's why that's why when I got back.
Well, you become part of a family there.
Oh yeah, your brothers and arms. Yeah, and for it. But when I got back, I was lucky not to suffer from PTSD like some other lads, like because they always try to chase that high, but they got into other stuff, like maybe like womanizing, drink, drugs, gambling. They were just trying to do anything to try and replace the buzz.
To search,
But when I got back from a tour, like that's what met you. Had like a few of the boxing fights and things like that, and then not a little bit after that, I got into the MMA as well. But because I had, it was obviously nowhere near the level with adrenaline, but because I had that, I was like really grounded. Like, and then that was my new buzz.
I remember when you came back and came over to jump on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. You not long come out of the army then. Maybe a few weeks.
Yeah, it was like straight into it. That's as soon as that's straight back into boxing. That's when.
Did you come over with Den?
Yeah, no, we were training for. I can't remember exactly how it went by, but when you was at the Better Bodies gym, like we used to do a bit of extra sparring sort of things. So like he used to drive us over free of charge. I was quite a young lad, so like fair play to that. That's like really good. It's only when you're older.
Good guy, Den. Great guy.
It's only when you're older you appreciate certain things when you're younger. But it didn't take a penny off. It's just drive over. We used to do extra sparring at the gym and all them lads. We got it. Then we also went on to did all the extra running with you and we got into the fight night. I had a great fight night at the club. Grabbed the win for you and stuff. And,
you done well. You boxed well that night.
It was just at that time of my life. I was one of the best times of life. That was brilliant because I was just back to doing what I love, fighting and just.
But without guns.
Yeah. I've always enjoyed it, Sean. You're the same as well. Do when it's when you're younger, sort of thing. So not like a violent person or something, but it's just you just love the sport. Don't you find watching the fights and into it.
There's nothing more stimulating than putting yourself in a position of combat with another human being, a man.
It's very peaceful and
it's
a strange encounter. You can't really explain it, but
it's
addictive as well, isn't it?
Oh, massively addictive. When you pit yourself against another man who's the same weight as you, the same experience as you, so you're both on the same kind of platform, and then go at it. It's the most. It's kind of it's just the best buzz. It's a crazy buzz.
Then you have to shake hands with them afterwards.
And then it's all respect. It's all love. It's all respect, and that's what real fighting is about.
Yeah, none of this 10-on-1s and
none of this
hitting you with a bottle when you're not looking in the club and stabbings and whatnot.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So you're back in England from the forces. You've got back into the boxing. I know you went to MMA after the boxing, not very long after our fight.
Yeah.
And done pretty good in the MMA.
Yeah, I did my best. I enjoyed the MMA as well. It was a new sort of thing. Boxing was always my first love, and I prefer actually watching boxing. You get two high level boxers competing on the telly for the world title stuff. But actually training and doing that, I've always preferred the MMA. I don't know if I had a natural with the grappling. I really enjoyed it. I felt more at home. I thought I really enjoy this. So I love a massive boxing fan, as you know, as you are. But for actually training, I've always preferred the MMA because you got to do a bit of everything. I got to Muay Thai, a bit of training, jiu-jitsu, judo, and then I just indulge into everything. It was sort of I was happy to do anything. It didn't matter what it was, as long as it was combat or any sort of martial art. I was just happy to do it. So it's just endless, isn't it? Sure, you could just spend all day doing it. I used to always have things before when at that period when I got into MMA. I was so fascinated to learn it all. I used to watch fights constantly, but before I went to bed at night, I used to watch around 2 fights every 7 nights a week. I used to watch 2 fights before bed because you get 3 fights on. It could be any weight class, any era. I just watch 2 MMA fights and just keep doing that, and I got really indulged in it. But I think that's why I didn't struggle with PTSD like a lot of the other lads from the battle group. Because
hobby.
Yeah, because in our battle group as a whole, sad stat was more people actually commit suicide actually died or get injured in battle. That's actually a stat. So it is out there, and it's crazy. I won't go into too much of that because I'm not a doctor, so I don't know how all that sort of works. But I'm just saying, for me, getting involved in MMA sort of that would be good for an ex-soldier. I'd say MMA or boxing especially it's very important because any sport really you got your football, basketball, cricket, rugby, do all that, but there's always that boxing or combat sports. It just takes us to that next level, doesn't it, Sean? The discipline and put yourself in dangerous situations.
Yeah.
I started working to fund that as well. I started working on the doors as well after that because I found that was quite similar as well. You're in a team, you're getting a few dangerous situations, and it was not on that level, but it had quite a lot of similar sort of aspects. I think that kept my mind quite sane and disciplined. Another thing, Sean, not on a Friday and Saturday night, if we're working the doors, it means I would never get tempted to go to the pub.
In Corby?
Yeah, I was quite a bit in Corby, all in Fancy really. It was Rushden, a little bit Wellingborough, Kettering quite a bit.
Lively places.
Yeah.
So
it kept me grounded. So it kept me I was never really much of a party animal anyway, but while I was doing that, I never got swayed. It kept me narrow.
There's no desire for that.
Yeah, it just sort of keep you.
Yeah, and it gives you a greater vision of how people behave under the influence of alcohol and drugs, because
That'll put you off forever.
mate, when you're sober
When you see it, yeah.
and you try and have a conversation with these people, it's like, are you seriously saying what you're fucking saying? Because they're just so clouded and deluded, really, because some of the conversations and behaviour I have with people who are even slightly drunk, it's just comical, you know. And look, I'm not taking nothing away from them. They're going to do what they're going to do, but to get a sensible level of, you know, intellectual conversation out of anybody who's under any kind of influence is really difficult. So you've come back, you've boxed, you've gone into the MMA. You're working security on the doors. You're keeping your discipline. That is the mainstay up to now of your life. You've kept disciplined, you know, because there must have been a lot of opportunities for you to be going out, celebrating coming out of the army. You obviously had a little drink, but you didn't continue it because you came straight to the boxing. Yeah, I can remember back then. So at what point did you think, right, I'm going to get my close protection badge?
Well, that was leading on from the doors, to be fair. You never really earned like too much money to the doors, but the good thing about it is like networking. You meet loads of people within the private security industry, like all over the place. And once I had like my badge and I was like SI, people maybe seen on social media or where they got about. A lot of the lads that I was out in Afghanistan with in tour, when they got out, and then they started, I think about 2011 when they got into Iraq was like really hot for close protection work. Yeah. Like they were getting like big money
around the oil plants.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of work there. And like back in the UK, like later, like once I got into the close protection like circuit, like, they like offering like certain jobs. Like I think it was like X Factor when I first started off. Like people were under that sort of line of work, and yeah, the opportunity like came up. When I sort of first like got into it, a lot of the drills and skills are quite similar to what we were doing in the military, but we were getting paid like 10 times the amount of money. And not exaggerating, it literally was like the money, like when they first got into it, like it was like ridiculous. I mean, I hadn't like sort of seen that sort of money before. Then,
but deservedly so.
Yeah, when you do like when you get involved in the close protection work, like it's opens your eyes to a lot of things. Like you're on sort of the other side of it. Yeah. But I took it like very seriously. Sean, I was always like was a lot of things I was studying like on the books, like doing all the drills, like trying to get the best.
And you read a lot.
Yeah, I read like all the time. Sort of thing. It's one of the main like hobbies and stuff. But with close protection work, like it's a really sort of like fascinating and unique sort of part of it, really, because you have to be like a people person as well, and it's like sort of like not you're sort of like avoiding the fight rather than getting into the fight. So you really got to use your intelligence and learning all the skills and drills and like different things. Like I really took a shine to it, and I really enjoyed it because also I'm not like a big like bloke myself sort of thing, especially compared to some other guys in the industry. So I had to really sort of like fight clever, drill, and the whole like sort of tactical side of it's like really good. I suppose it's like the same as a boxer who's had like phenomenal defense skills and stuff. Like he would like win the fight really technical. And it's like fascinating to watch without going in there slugging. Or some MMA fighter who's like really technically like good at the jiu-jitsu. Like he doesn't get in a slugfest.
He sticks to what he does best.
Yeah, so like that's sort of with the close section work. It was really eye-opener for like getting your skills good, like certain like conflict management and your people skills, reading people, situations, how avoiding the trouble, and it was brilliant to me. Yeah, it gave me some good opportunities to go further on and work. Like you said at the start, like with some of the biggest rappers the UK's ever produced, like some of the biggest in the music industry, like some of the biggest like female artists and male, a lot of top bands, rock stars, like all sorts. You know what I mean? But so then I got into the like I said about like the present. That was sort of like
so. Let me stop you there for a second. We're going to get to all this because this is a bit of meat on the bone coming up. How long did it take you to go through the process from decision to getting your close protection badge?
Yeah, from doing the doors, I can't remember what years it was. It was
so you've got you've got your SIA from the doors.
Yeah, and then I went on to do upskill it sort of into close protection, and then because when the lads that were on tour, etc., like they all do it. So then they just like got it in, because it's not like what you know, it's who you know. So I was very lucky to meet some good blokes in the airborne units that went on to do it. So I had my foot in the door from them, like right from the start, really. For doing a good job out in Afghanistan, they got me like a few of the teams sort of thing. So I got really lucky there, like knowing the right sort of people in the industry, because that's what it's all about, really.
And, so you're qualified now, close protection, and you've looked after some big people. Tell me a few.
Is it, not like it's hard to name drop.
Right, let's start at the first one. I'm going to go for the first one. President of the United States of America.
Yeah, that happened. He was doing a climate like meeting sort of thing.
Trump, Bush.
It was Biden at the time. It not like yeah. But we always said like we didn't really like sort of like care who that was, because people like different presidents and things. But it's sort of more about the seat.
It's fucking president.
It was the seat that like mattered. But that was like amazing. Sure, like when all the we had like a 9-man team. I was a team leader for the night team. We had like a day team. He was an ex-French Foreign Legion lad. He was like a spot on for. He was in charge of the days.
Foreign Legion crackers.
Yeah, but good soldiers.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
A little plug as well. We had APOC security. He was a daytime 2IC. Like he loved it. Loved getting dropped in there. He was one I was like sharing a room with. He was like, a great lad. To be fair, we had to like the area it was, because they sort of tricked the public, because it was in Glasgow where the meeting was. They had like Glen Eagles, which was the main 5-star hotel, and everyone thought they had a team there as well.
Is that a golf place?
I think, it must have like some golf there. It's like a 5-star Glasgow like hotel. So they had like all the CP teams there and everything. So the public thought they were going there. Then we split them off like to Edinburgh, which is like 4 miles from the airport, like down there. So come and do the vehicle like the Beast, so in the convoy. Like they come at night time, like there. Then like you stay for one night, but no stone was like left unturned. I had all the snipers, all the counter assault teams, like any vehicle coming there, all search dogs, everything. Like it was like surreal to see. And then when he come in, like through, like I had like the air support as well. It was quite low flying, so you had all that going on. It was like that incredible buzz. I think actually generally like as cheesy as it sounds, an honour. Yeah, it was an honour. Yeah. Well, the best honour was when we finished the task. The Secret Service that we were working directly with gave me one of their American like coins to say thank you, and one of their pin badges. So I got medals from Afghanistan, etc. But that like meant more, because that was like really unique, and not many people in the UK could say that, because to be working with the Secret Service, like they're like the best in the business.
The most powerful man on the planet.
They you can't be in the Secret Service or work with them unless you're an American citizen and born in America. So it literally was like once in a life opportunity. Like it couldn't have like come about. I suppose like when I was working with them, I was like a sponge when I was watching how they do everything, and it was like brilliant. It was like the pinnacle sort of thing. I suppose it's like the same as like back in his prime, if like Muhammad Ali asked to do a spy, you'd just be like, really? Like, it was like that. I was just like, I couldn't believe I was there, like watching it in motion. And when the president come in, like past us and stuff, like it cheesy it sounds, it did generally feel like I was in a film or something. Like, it didn't like seem real. Like that was no one can take it away from us. That's just
it's on your resume. It's on your resume.
Yeah, like great achievements. I think so. It put my mind at rest as well, because I was always really not like down that, but I always missed the military lifestyle so much. Like literally every day I used to miss like the whole airborne thing. So like when I did that, it sort of like put my mind to rest a bit. Well,
it kind of put you back in that situation.
But more like I thought, like I was like sort of regretted it and missed it, like so much that like when I did it, I thought everything in life happens for a reason. If I never did leave, I wouldn't have had a chance to do that. So I thought, maybe like that was God's like path for me. So it put my sort of mind and mental health like at rest. Really, I thought, like it sort of closed the book on that, really, because I used to miss the military lifestyle so much. Like I even do now to some extent. It's like it was just like you can't replace it. But especially when you get older with the injuries and stuff as well. I'm so glad I did a lot of stuff I did at a younger age, because when you get older, like
you get niggles. You get the niggles.
Get niggles,
so who else you worked with?
Well, with some bigger names, I think we started off with like X Factor ones like Jess Clins and like the Ollie Murs and people that won it, like James Arthur and etc. Like that. Then like with the female singers, well, like Dua Lipa, Rita Ora, and
Dua Lipa on X Factor.
No, she wasn't an X Factor. I was just naming some.
Who's come on there?
Oh no, she I was separate, like the one. I said that's lot of the ones I started with was the X Factor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like the ones that won, like Ollie Murs or like James Arthur, etc. And then they went on to some of the females that were like obviously Rita Ora, Dua Lipa, and Anne Marie. Like she was great and everything. And with the rappers, like all the BPK lads.
Do you get any of the like? I've got to ask. Are they really like diva-ish? You know, are they stuck up their own asses?
Like you'd be very, very surprised. Like they're so most of us so like down to earth and humble. They don't really sort of get it themselves. They like just like a few of them kind of have the funny little habits sort of thing. But for the most part, like you'd be very surprised how they just want to live a normal life. Like they are like humble. Well, the ones that humble, I thought like if we work with like anyone like Arabs or anyone that's like sort of born into money and they've been like super rich, like and had that. Being a high net worth, like valued person, like the whole life, or someone that was like a potential rapper, and he like just lived a normal life for so long in London, and then he becomes big. You do see a massive difference in their like personalities. We will say that like the ones that are like become famous like later on in life to ones that have been sort of like in the line like throughout the whole life. There is like a massive difference because some of them are like really shocked because they can go famous. In the media, like so quick. I'm sure we've worked with like some of the rappers that literally like they blow up like so quick. It's literally one or two songs and boom, they're up there. Yeah. Like from like nothing. Like
it is social media.
Like RD or like some rappers, but some of the other ones that have been in the media for like a long time, like your Circle of Riches or like your Bryan Adams or like people out there, sort of like more like grounded, they're sort of fed up, but they've got like the cult following and. Sometimes you expect them to have like loads more fans, but I think it's like whoever is current has more. Yeah, you can have a rapper that's had like he's broken on the scene 6 months ago, and he can have more people like swarming him than someone that's been in the media.
A legend for 50 years.
Yeah, it's like your TikToks and stuff, is it? Like that sort of thing. Like it's whoever's current at that time. Like
So any sports stars you've worked with?
Yeah, we've had a lot of boxers and like some of the football players and stuff. I was more interested in meeting like some of the boxers and
come on.
Well, to be fair, because we've done work with some actors, but I'm not really a fan of. I think I maybe might be good at a job. I never got starstruck by any. I don't really listen to music much, Sean. To be honest, like, and then if you have like the biggest rapper in the UK at the time, or like whoever's number one, like literally, like it didn't really bother me like too much. It probably made me good at a job. But I was more like. If like Mike Tyson walked in, that would be like Catch My or like Khabib, GSP or like anyone like any sort of like fighters. They was always like people I'd be like more interested in meeting. Yeah. I know you're the same. You like Tyson Fury, didn't you, and stuff?
He's the best out there at the minute. I think. Mind you, there's a Russian kid coming through. He's going to be very dangerous. But yeah, I love Tyson. Character, great man. But you know yourself, I'm a historian. You know, I like the throwbacks, the Robinson.
Yeah, we plugged the Tyson Fury. I've actually named my dog Fury after Tyson Fury. I love it much. Yeah, what we've plugged it, I've got a little gift for you, Sean, because I know you're a massive boxing fan. This was Tyson's Fury signed this after the Wilder rematch. There's a little photo there for.
Oh my God!
Yeah, there you go. We can put that up in the gym or in your house or do whatever you want with it, like.
Wicked, bro. Yeah, Thank you very much, man.
He signed us after the rematch, like the Wilder.
Wicked. I like a bit of that.
Yeah,
nice.
That's
one,
why
right?
I asked you which boxes you liked because I've got.
So you didn't expect the Willie Pep and the Harry Greb and.
I was thinking, how am I going to get bloody Jack Dempsey's autograph? I was thinking I'm going to dig him out. So yeah, that's what I was saying. Because I was trying to get someone you personally like, but. Out of the current boxers, the only one that I know you like at the minute is Tyson Fury.
Yeah,
so I don't really know any current ones at the minute.
Yeah, my man Tyson, man. Thank you very much, Ryan. Brilliant.
No problem.
McGregor.
Yeah.
Worked around McGregor?
Well, yeah, but some of my teammates and people that taught me stuff, they were like part of McGregor's team for many years. After the Diaz fight and before the Mayweather fight, they took over the security sort of thing, and then they had it so... person I'm on task with, like next sort of thing, at least two of them was on McGregor's team. Yeah, so I've got to operate with some really high level guys and work with them and learn off them, like Arnold Schwarzenegger's personal bodyguard.
Stallone.
Stallone. Yeah, so I was really lucky. I've been able to pick the brains and work alongside, and good friends with them as well. Of like these people that have operated at the like highest level. You know what I mean, so like
that's what gets you there, right? You know.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be the best. You got to like train with the best. So they've like taught me like everything they know. Obviously, still getting it better myself, but I've been like really lucky to work with some like really high level operators. You know what I mean?
Yeah, brilliant.
The UK and Americans and stuff.
I've got to ask you, McGregor. Were you or your pals working around him after the Mayweather fight? I think it was after the Mayweather fight when he punched the old guy in the pub.
Oh, right. When was that sort of thing? Well, actually, like,
was it before the Mayweather fight or after?
It must have been after.
I think it was after.
Yeah, they
it was after because it was the proper 12.
The whiskey.
His whiskey.
Well, but to be fair, like the CP team wasn't really often because that happened in Ireland
in a pub in Dublin. Yeah.
When we have like clients or thing, we normally have them at like fight nights or if they're going to events sort of thing.
Public event. Yeah.
Like certain times, because they're like a client, they like hire us when they need it. Some of them do have it like all around the clock sort of thing, or if they have like certain threats. But they tend to normally have us if they're like they need us like at like a certain time. So I'm pretty sure they wouldn't had like anyone like on by. That was him just popping down his local boozer, and obviously. But to be fair, I know lads that they've like stopped him like from making like certain mistakes in the past. So if they were there, that probably wouldn't have happened. They would have gauged it. They would have read the situation. And they would have said to him, like the principal, as I call him, like, I think we probably should get out of it now. Or they would. I'm pretty confident that they would have like either like stopped that from happening completely, or at least de-escalated before any media got involved in.
Yeah.
I bet he would have benefited from them being there. Because that's the thing. People think about the physical threats, but we're there to protect their image as well.
Yeah.
And like we're there to because a lot of the time I take the heat off of them, Sean.
And you see.
If they've had a bad day and they want to go into, or they don't want to get a photo or whatever, like we'll just blame it on the CP team. So like we look the bad guys. So they were on their social media, they'll be slagging off the security team, like me or like whoever, and it takes a rap off them. That's one thing like they hire us for. Same as like for like a doorman on the nightclub. If they don't want a certain person, a local in, rather than like doorman on the front going like
to save the image of the club.
Yeah, well they would say like rather than them going, the manager doesn't want you in, they would probably have to take the rap and be like, like we don't want you in. And then obviously the local thug or the local person, like dealer or whoever they only didn't take a liking to for whatever reason, didn't want them in, they would see that as like the sort of door team taking the heat off the owner. Because I think that the owner would probably, the club would see that's what we're paying you for. So you're taking the heat off me, so I don't have to deal with it. So because that's what it's like with the doors. Some local people that come in that don't want in. Sometimes they think like the door team's got a problem with them, but like, it might not be the case.
It's not. I mean, no, it's your job. It's not. It's not.
We can't just be like, the manager go like, you can't come in because the manager said. And then he would be like, why am I paying you for? You're supposed to take the rap from me. So the same thing like transpires into the close protection world. Like with that incident with McGregor, it would have been beneficial for him to have that because they would have heat or they would
de-escalated it.
They would have got in the middle of it, and then the old like bloke whoever it was, he might have took it out on the CP team, and then rather than the national papers going to Connor, they'll be like his bodyguards, this and that, whatever, and then Connor would be like saved sort of thing of his reputation. So.
See, I really look. I'm Irish.
Irish through and through. My man, dad.
I loved him. I loved it. I really did have a lot of respect for McGregor, but from that incident, like you say, if he had have had a good team around him, it wouldn't have escalated. It would have been calmed. But what he done there really niggled me. You know, it really got me.
Yeah, you don't like that sort of stuff.
He's an old guy, but he's a year younger than me. And I just want to plug this. If you're watching Connor, come and try it with me. I'll punch the fucking face off you. But it really put me off him. I lost so much respect for the guy. You know, his proper 12 was doing well anyway. Everyone in the pub didn't really need to have a proper 12 because the fucking thing's smashing it. But like you just pointed out there, if a good team was around him, and this is what a good team does for these celebrities, it doesn't just protect them from harm, it protects them from self-explosions, like imploding on themselves or whatever, That's what a good close protection team does. So you're still active in the close protection. You're still living in Corby?
Yeah, still.
You're still over in Corby?
Stayed local and that, yeah.
So you've obviously seen what's going on the streets, Ryan, you know, with gang culture, knife crime, gun crime. You know, we're seeing it escalate. You know, there's been so many, what could we call them? So many ventures by this, not just this government presently, but previous governments. There's been so many ventures to try and, you know, like address the problem and see if we can change the problem. And I think what we need to do as communities, you know, is don't exclude these kids. You know, we need to get these kids involved in positive behaviour. We need to go and speak to them and help them understand that this is not the way forward. Listen, short-term gratification, they're all chasing the P's, they're all chasing the labels, they're chasing the big cars. Short-term gratification never leads to long-term satisfaction, and they don't really get it, you know. So as a community, I think we need to do a bit more. We need to make an effort ourselves. And I know that away from your work, away from your training, away from your sport, I know you're making an effort. And you're going to schools to talk to kids, am I right?
Yeah, I've got next one on Wednesday coming up in local to you, like the Northampton one.
Yeah.
It was Steve Mussard and Millsy that's got us on. They work with a few like kids that have sort of went like sort of down the wrong path sort of thing. They're trying to like build them up. Just sort of said like come in, like share your experience, say like how you got into doing certain things, etc. Like away from crime, like just on straight and narrow, like life, etc. And cause that's why I'm doing this podcast as well, usual, because that's like the general message. I'm not coming here to like say, oh, I've done this or that, like to boast. But I'm doing it to say, like, I'm a regular guy from Corby, so if I can do it, anyone else can do it.
But Ryan, your life is a great message.
Yeah.
You know, and what you're doing away from your employment, you're taking time out of your own life to go to these schools to help these kids. Go on, I'll let you carry on.
Yeah, so that's sort of idea of the podcast, like for people listening to, because I know that's your general message of the podcast is to try and help the younger generation sort of things. That's why I'm here to like deliver a message, not to say I've done this and not in the like for like clout or to like show off. It's more to say like, oh, like, I'm a regular guy from like Corby, so if I did it, anyone can do it, sort of thing. And if anyone, the youngsters are like listening, sort of thing, if you want to get into like sports, it doesn't. Like, I chose like the combat sports, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be anything. You got to find something you enjoy, and then like go for it. It could be any sport. I mean, it could be any hobby, but yeah, as long as you're doing something like positive for your life, because it's so easy to like watch them films. I've been there myself. When you watch like Goodfellas, like or something like back in the day, you thought, oh, I want to like be like that. But
yeah,
like get the girl at the front and get all the women and all this, and like everyone knows me, I'm a gangster and all this, and but then like, sort of the days are over with like technology these days, and then that life, if you talk to if you talk to any former criminals, they all like sort of regret it because the people that you're around ain't really your friends, and it's just it only ends like badly really. Like it's glamorized, like these rap music videos. That a lot of the things you see on social media makes it look good. It's like you're gonna have the best clothes, the best girls, and sort of thing. But if you actually talk to someone that's actually been there, really done it, and has operated in crime in the UK streets at a high level, if you actually speak to any of them, all of them, I guarantee it now, go and research it and look at these podcasts of former ex-criminals, not the street level ones that are like serious, I mean, that operated at a high level. If you talk to them, every single one of them said the same thing. They said they'd wish they never ever got involved.
Every day of 7.5 fucking years, Ryan, I wished I never got involved. Every day. There weren't one single day what went past on that 15-year sentence. Every single day. I wished I never got involved. And you have hit the nail so hard on the head there, because as much as these young kids coming through think they want all the glamour, the cash, the whatever they think they're going to get at the end of it, because you never keep it. The police take it. You know, and you can't stop the police taking it back. You can't stop the courts taking it back once you're in that system. They don't really understand how quick they can lose it all. You know, not just the clothes, the car, their life. You know, these young kids coming through now, they're ruthless. They've got no mercy. There's no thought process of consequence. But listening, you know, and you know, you're going to go out of your way to talk to these kids. To, you know, we've got to show them there is consequences all the time, but we can change that consequence into a positive with the right behaviour. You know, and it's not hard, really, is it? It's not. You know, you can quite easily turn left instead of right. That left turn, lovely little couple of selling a few drugs or robbing something or doing this. Easy work, easy money. But you know as well as I, easy money goes, bang, gone. It's gone. You've got to go down that left turn again. When if you had went down the right turn in the beginning, you would have kept all your money. No one's coming to take your money. No one's coming to rob you. No one's coming to stab or shoot you. There's no gangs chasing you in the street. You've turned right. You've made it yourself. You're keeping it. The police ain't taking it. You know, it's a choice what we make, not just in life, but as a community to help these kids. Do you know what I mean? We've got to start. Listen, you're already doing it. You're already doing it, Ryan. So, you know, hat off to you, bro. This is what I wanted you on here. You're already doing what we on this podcast are trying to achieve for everyone to start doing, is trying to help this gen coming through. Listen, it can only go forward with what we're doing. We're going to keep pushing and pushing. But what you're doing, you know, you're still on the front line, really. You know, you haven't left Afghanistan. You're still putting yourself on the front line. You're helping these kids out. We take our hat off to you here. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure there's thousands of people out there going to see this. They're going to take their hat off to you. You know, what else do you think we can do? You know, as a community, you know.
I don't know, because I know you yourself, like I as well, like if you have like sort of someone to look up to, but like positive, because like I used to like love the old like clips of like Roberto Duran, like, and then I just thought, I'd love to be like him. He was sort of like a superhero to me, sort of thing. Like then, like I know yourself, you looked up to like Jack Dempsey's, like great featherweight, like Willie Pep, and like all them sort of things. I think as a kid, if like, because I was lucky just by like chance. I used to watch the old boxing like VHSs and stuff of sort, like because my dad and uncle were into it, and then my uncle's favourite fighter was Tommy Hearns, randomly. So he used to put all the clips on, like my uncle's favourite fighter was Tommy Hearns. So you put like Hearns, Hagler, Leonard, and Duran. And then
Four Kings.
I used to watch it, and then for some reason I don't know why I was like, who's this Duran guy? And I was just drawn to him, and then he was just my favourite of them. Like, and then I ended up watching like, because this is like before like my era, like these fights before I was even born. But I got exposed to that from a young age. I think like yourself, when you looked up to like Jack Dempsey's or them sort of people, I think if you get a kid to like get exposed to like, it doesn't have to be a boxer, it could be someone like that, and then
a good role model.
A good role, mimic them, and then like go on, rather than like when you turn on the telly and the role model could be like someone else. You know what I mean, so I think if that would be like what I think you could do, like have like a role model for the kids like to look up to, sort of thing. And then some of the people that you said, some of the old school like boxers, they'd be like brilliant, sort of thing, because they were just proper old school people. They were like tough as nails, but they would have been the guys back in the 20s and stuff, like some of the people names like Henry and all them sort of things. They would like open the door for the women. Yeah, they'd like let a pregnant girl sit down.
Come on.
They would like never start trouble in a bar unless you start them first. They're all, sort of all. It seems to have gone, Sean. You know what I mean?
There's
so if they them four boxers that you messaged me, like them people, if they looked up to how they used to carry themselves, like that's what I mean. Like that would be like a lot better. I mean,
role models, mentors.
That people see on the telly these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who was the other boxers you said? Was it him or it was Jack? You fought the four, didn't you? Like Jack Dempsey,
Harry Armstrong,
and
Willie Pep, Harry Greb.
Oh, Harry Greb, yeah.
Phenomenal fighters.
Some of them had like was it Willie Pep and McGregor? They had like,
you know Willie Pep.
You know 200 fights, didn't they?
Yeah, you know Willie Pep won rounds without throwing a punch.
Yeah, he's got the infamous first one today, hasn't he?
You know, these fighters were not just physically, the best, but they were mentally. You know, this is
sweet box science.
This is the science of the sport. You know, you win rounds without throwing a punch. You're a special.
He's best featherweight of all time, isn't he?
Well, yeah.
I reckon.
I don't know. I think I don't. You see, I love certain boxers for certain things. You know, my overall fighter, Ray Robinson, was he had a little bit of every single thing what I like in a fighter. Do you know what I mean?
It was a complete full package.
He was the perfectionist. If anybody could describe the perfect fighter, Sugar Ray Robinson. You know, you can't, not just for what he did in the ring, outside the ring as well. He was just a great role model. You know, these kids should be looking at these guys, like you say. They should be looking up to these guys, not the gangster, this guy shot this guy stabbed that guy. Because the guy who shot that guy and the guy who stabbed that guy is still sitting in fucking prison rotting, or he's waiting to be done himself. But yeah, great fighters, great role models. I think, you know, look, listen, we're going to keep pushing to try and make a difference. But yeah, so you're going into schools. Let's go back to you, Ryan. We just drifted off a bit there onto the boxing.
That's what, when you got two boxing. That's what we've talked about boxing. I could cue you off of a boxing all day. Got like 5-hour podcast on boxing. You don't want to talk to me about boxing. I'll go on forever. I know all the dates and times, all weight classes. I know everything about boxing. It's all the same as well.
Yeah.
So not talk about boxing.
We'll just stay here chatting boxing.
Like the whole night with boxing.
But no, let's get a message across. I want to finish on you giving a message to this next gen.
Yeah, we'll keep it like nice and short, punchline, and to end it then, like, whatever you do in life, you got to think to yourself, like, if it's positive or negative, but then at the end of the day, only you know yourself, is it really worth it?
Brilliant. Ryan, Barby, thank you very much.
Yeah, pleasure seeing you.
Brilliant.
Well
done.
All the success in future podcasts for you, and it all goes well for you, yeah.
Thank you, bro.